Okay, welcome back. Now, the actions. Let's talk about the actions. What are the actions? What they're supposed to do? And how are we going to handle that? Now, first thing first is that we have, some kind of state setting over here. And this thing will be an action of the, getting the weather information. So the actions are essentially what is the entry point? What are we trying to do? This is defined by what we're trying to do. And so it would be get the weather information action. And because, it comes always almost always in a pair, then and it's just the way I think here, but we'll have done action just to have them listed. I don't like to have words uh, inverted. I don't. It reads a little bit funny, but I prefer it this way. So this two things we're gonna get weather information action, get weather information done action, which is the done version of that one. And so we can have multiple things. We can have an I action. This is going to be a very short video on this. We're going to have I action and using the staples. And first thing first that we want to do and mention here, and we'll make it a sealed class or record, doesn't, really matter for us. Let's make it a record. And there's nothing here, so we've got no properties on this one anyways. But then I'm going to create some kind of model, and I'm gonna have weather model, just a quick weather model like this, sealed record here. And what we'll have is she information. I really don't know what we get here, but summaries. Okay, the date, temperature, summary. So yeah, okay, all right. So we'll have public string, fucking a string, summaries, summary, summary, or summary, or summary. It's summary. Summaries. So we're gonna have this and in it like that, just because it's a model and this is what we like to do and default not. And then we will have a float for temp. Okay, and then we will have another one which I forgot which one it was, the date. So date only, and it's gonna be date, just like that. And so this is our model. Okay, and this is what we'll be using from now on. And we got temperature in Celsius. Then we got this. Why the hell are you? You don't know floats in your world? You don't have. Oh, that's Fahrenheit. I don't know about Fahrenheit. The world is using Celsius. So. And okay, so for this one, we're going to have an I action. Now, there's two things that I was talking about earlier. We can have I action like this, or we could have I safe action. A safe actions means this flow, whenever it's triggered, it is going to be running the anti-duplication system, which essentially means that this is a high frequency action that is prone to race conditions. And so you want to make sure that what we keep is the last update rather than a stale update. So it's very rare for a done action to feature a safe action. But I'm not telling you how to run your boat. You're not telling me how to run mine. So just like that. Other thing that is very important when it comes to actions is essentially, let me just do this, that you cannot have a init on it. It's one of those things that you can't have because everything is set by the system internally, and if you can have it, but it will limit your possibilities, and I will show you why it limits your possibilities in a few. But essentially, what we need to have is weather, the weather model, and is going to be the weather. What's the freaking weather? And so you could have in it, but it's not recommended. Or you could set this, and it is recommended. And you could have, you know, we're gonna make it optional. So those would be my two options. Now, when we get to the weather here, we've got this, and you know, there's protected override, and it's gonna be as such. And so there's another things that we're gonna do is inject that state pulse. So it's going to be I dispatcher. And remember that if you use state pulse, I state pulse, you don't need to inject a dispatcher because it will provide it for you. I fucking said dispatcher, man. Why are you not showing this shit? Come on, dude. Swear. It's going to be one of those days, ain't it? Okay, happy now? Wonderful. So now we're going to have our I dispatcher. But not only are we going to do this, but we don't need this. We're going to have I state pulse instead, because we'll be subscribing to that state itself. So very important. Now what we do, and then I'll show you, this is going to be a singleton state, which will be shared across all circuits on Blazor servers. So very cool thing. Very cool thing is coming up, boys. So we will have state pulse T. It's itchy. So wonderful. So now we've got that state pulse. And the reason why, because I'm show it to you right now. First render. And this is what we do. Just like that. Okay. Sync. Hell, you don't need this. State pulse. Dot dispatcher. And you have prepare and prepared. So there's two options. Now, if you want to be stubborn, boy, you can, because I'm a man with very little limits, as long as you choose the right color for your car. So you can choose any color you want, as long as it's black. So over here, you could have the fluxer pattern kind of thing, which I don't like very much. I think we can have our developer experience a lot better. But that's just my own opinion and maybe unpopular one. So who cares? Who knows? Action's going to be equal to new get weather. I said get the weather information fucking action. Come on, man. IntelliSense today. So you could have this here. As such, and this would happen into the effect whenever you set your things, but you could essentially let's say we get action done, and then you have this thing here with the model, and you can just say new whatever model we got here, and come on, man. Dude, I swear this thing is bad shit crazy. Okay, so you see how you can do, then you do prepared. So this is the action that is actually prepared. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where you can await your pipeline and you can run it as safe or unsafe. So if the action is a global safe action, which means it will feature the anti-duplication system right off the globally whenever that action is triggered. Then you can set it on safe to execute as a non-tracked entity. Same thing for the safe, unsafe safe, same in the reverse. So then you could say run the effect first, or you can say run the reducer first, run it parallel the effects or sequential the effects. So as you can see, all the options can be global, but they can be per dispatch as well. Now, I don't recommend using any of that on a regular basis because it will just make your code a lot more bloated and a lot more confusing overall. So I would just say, pick one and stick to it rather than having explicit definitions all over the place. Those are for exceptions, not for the rules. Think of it as CSS important, right? If everything is important, nothing is important. So pretty much the same pattern exists here. Now, you may have noticed await and do not await. So what if by default we do not await, why do we need this right here? It's because if you trigger an awaited pipeline, all of the chain and the following chain of that pipeline will be awaited, which means the sub actions are going to be awaited as well. Now, if you are inside an effect object and you want that next action not to be awaited, then you could say do not await that action specifically, so it can run as a normal chain without ever being awaited. This is for giving, I don't know, I didn't think about this scenario that I would ever use that crap, but it's there and you can use it and it works. So for X, Y, and Z reason, if you need a sub action not to be awaited within a awaited pipeline action, this is your way to do it. And but I haven't figured out a scenario that I would ever use this in any way. So, and then finally, when you're done setting all your things, then you just say dispatch, and then you can pass in a token that will follow the whole chain, which you don't have in Fluxer. So you can cancel the chain on your own, or I think the system will create a token. I'm not sure if the system does, but you can pass your own token and cancel it along the way if need be. And always await your pipeline. This does not await the whole pipeline, but it is the awaiter for scheduling that chain to start. And so it should always be awaited to avoid troubles. This is how you would run this really quickly, but this was about the actions, and there's not much to say. It's just actions or safe actions. On this,